How do you feel about soda bread?
Love it. How does my phone feel about
Just hit
soda bread?
Hit the old silent button on the phone.
I'm going to just turn it right back off.
I feel like you could just hit silent, though.
It's powering down. It's over. Taking it off the table. Soda bread, though. Back to that. Hot topic for St. Patty's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody, and welcome back to the Western Wisconsin Whiskey Emporium for ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eddie.
I'm Dan.
Together, we're the Deathless Dogs.
In honor of St. Patrick's Day, we thought we'd review an Irish whiskey today, breaking away from the bourbon that we've done in the first two episodes. And this is a particularly good one, Redbreast Lustau edition.
I believe it's a spin-off their Redbreast 12, in which I think they finished the whiskey with...
It's in sherry casks.
Which gives it a little bit of a fruit note that the otherwise pristine and perfect Redbreast 12 wouldn't have.
Redbreast 12 is probably my favorite whiskey. It's so good. It's just smooth, easy drink. I feel like Redbreast 12 is a whiskey you could give to one of those people that says, I don't like whiskey, and they would like Redbreast 12.
I agree.
Very easy to drink, very smooth, sweet, but not overpoweringly sweet. I'd say, yeah, if you've got someone in your life that you're trying to get into whiskey, that might be a good starting point. And honestly, with the sherry cask finish, this, if you could find it, might be an even better starting point.
Especially for someone who enjoys wine.
Yeah, you're getting more of the fruit notes in it from the sherry cask finishing that has been done to it. So you're picking up dark fruit. It's very good. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody who doesn't like this.
This is a bit of a rare bottle. It isn't easy to come across, but if you do come across it, you should grab it. Crack into it.
So yeah, that typical Redbreast bottle design with the orange on it to denote that it's the Lustau edition. Even the bottle, I think, is just cool looking. Classic. It's got the bird on there.
I think the bird has recently actually been rebranded because it used to be a different looking one, but now you're seeing all the bottles with that type of design on it. So I think they must have, within the past year or two, kind of rebranded a bit, but they can do all the rebranding they want because, in my opinion, they can't do any wrong.
A rebranded bird.
Yeah.
It's the robin redbreast, the only bird which sings continuously throughout the dark Irish winters.
These are facts.
According to this box. I don't want to waste any more time because there's a bottle of Redbreast in front of us and we're not drinking it.
Right,
so
let's crack into it.
I feel like we need to fix that.
What are you smelling there, Dan?
Fruits and that... It smells like cookies with like fruit in them, though. You know, like, I don't want to say raisin because it's not really raisiny, but it's got that sweet shortbread thing, but almost like a fruit cake, but like a good one.
Another thing that I like about Redbreast is that, true to most Irish whiskeys, its mash bill, I think, is 100% comprised of barley.
Yeah, there's malted and unmalted.
Right. They do a green... almost like what they do in beers with the dry hopping process, they do with barley, and that kind of gives it a little bit more of those fruity notes, those kind of earthy, ripened fruit type of flavors that I think we're going to get out of this. All right, clink them and drank them.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Kind of like if Redbreast was like the traditional brand of like Coca-Cola. I kind of feel like this is like the cherry Coke to the regular Coke that is the Redbreast 12.
Maybe in spirit, not like in taste. I don't think it tastes like cherries, but
there's just something a little bit different.
It's that dark fruit. It's everything you like about Redbreast, but then with just this added finish of that fruitiness and it's really good. The way he feels about Blanton's, I'm kind of that way about Redbreast, where it's...
And there's nothing wrong with that. So if you can find this particular whiskey, Dan, will you be buying it?
I would say if I came across it, I would probably pick it up. Again, if it's about a $90 bottle, that's pretty expensive, but I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility, depending on the day and if that day is payday. Because if that day is payday, this is coming home. If it's an off week, if it's the week between paydays, I might just get the regular 12. Yeah, this is a payday purchase for sure. Cue up the ZZ Top.
Just got paid today.
Yeah, it's coming home. But also too, if there was a different Redbreast that I hadn't tried or seen and I could afford it, I might buy that other one instead. Because everything I've had I've liked so much, I kind of want to try them all. If you ever see any Redbreast in a bar, try it if you've never had it before. It's an essential whiskey that I think everybody who likes whiskey should try. And everybody who doesn't like whiskey should try, because they might learn to like whiskey through the glory of Redbreast.
I think that I can honestly credit some of my affinity for whiskey to early on when you introduced me to Redbreast. It was just the 12-year. I remember the first time I had it, and it just tasted light and sweet, just easy to drink, almost like you weren't even drinking whiskey. Save this bottle for somewhat special occasions, otherwise you'll be ripping through it too quick.
I have a hard time saving bottles, though, because I want people to try it if they haven't had it. And I don't feel bad about going through something quickly. Like when we had everybody over here to record those choruses and came in the next day, we were at least 3 bottles down, I would say. A couple bottles fully kicked, and then a lot of them were much lower. But I did not regret that at all. I think that makes for a good night. You got your good friends over, don't hold out.
No.
Let them have some of the good stuff if you've got it. I think that's important to share good whiskey with people.
Because then you may turn them on to good whiskey, and then all of a sudden you're going to get them kickbacks eventually.
Right. All of a sudden they're going to buy something because you got them into whiskey, and they're going to find something crazy that you've never had possibly, and then you get to reap the benefits of that as well. We need more people to drink whiskey.
And then share them with us.
Right. We need more people to share whiskey. I wouldn't say we're collectors. We've got a lot in the other room over here, but they're all being drank, or they all have a purpose. We're not necessarily buying bottles just to buy bottles like some people do. They seem to be people that just collect, which I guess is a thing. It's the same thing as people who buy action figures and don't take them out of the package. I think that's really stupid. They're toys. They're supposed to be played with. It's whiskey. You're supposed to open it. You're supposed to drink it. That's how I feel. If you got a bunch of action figures in packages, I'm not impressed.
But this is a vintage 93 Wolverine.
Yeah, sweet. That's cool.
Did we, spout off any weird St. Paddy's Day stories we have? I don't know if I have many anymore. I think most St. Paddy's Days have been relatively chill for me. I'm over 30. I ain't trying to drink green beer.
I'm 34 years old, and I've never had green beer ever.
I feel like everyone's had green beer.
I've never had it. Never been in a bar where they were pouring green beer.
Can anyone out there refute his claim that he's never had green beer?
If you can, let me know, because clearly I don't remember.
Find a picture of him drinking green beer, because I don't believe it. As far as he can remember.
We're
talking about St. Paddy's Day.
The closest I've come to green beer is the Pearl Street Berliner Weiss with the Woodruff syrup in it. And that was like a teal color.
I vaguely remember that.
And that was really good,
fruity
too.
Flavor.
The Woodruff didn't... Yeah, it gave it a little bit of a flavor. Somebody told me it was really good for your gut flora. And I said, that's a weird thing to say to someone while they're drinking beer.
Yeah.
I think that might be the closest I've ever come to actual green beer. Green beer kind of weirds me out, though. So during your St. Paddy's Day festivities, if you find yourself in a bar that has any type of Redbreast, get yourself a shot. If you find this one in a bar, definitely give it a shot. So I think that's about all for us here today. Happy St. Paddy's Day.
Happy St. Paddy's Day.
See you next time.
What's your opinion on corned beef and hash?
Corned beef and hash, or just corned beef hash?
I thought it was corned beef and hash.
Are you talking about corned beef and cabbage?
Maybe.
Corned beef hash is fine. Corned beef and cabbage is really good, but only once or twice a year.
Have you tried the Dublin Trio at Dublin Square?
What's that?
You get the corned beef and cabbage, I think is what you're calling it now. There's a shepherd's pie.
Well, that's not what I'm calling it. It's literally cabbage.